Hey guys, it's me. I tried making a video yesterday and I got really emotional, so I really wasn't able to do it. So I'm gonna try again today. Where do I start? So my 2-year-old Liam that broke his femur and was put into a spica cast, he was just jumping on the floor and I heard a pop and we found out his femur was broke. It seemed almost unreal how it happened. Well, his pediatrician called me yesterday and told me that he has a bone disease that made it to where his bones are more easily broken. The bone disease he has is osteogenesis imperfecta, and it's a genetic bone disease, so he got it from his dad, his biological father. I'm still trying to process that information right now. Like, we knew going in that this was a possibility of why his bone broke, but I feel like after doing the full body x-rays and finding out that no other bones were broken, like, I feel like I just kind of like convinced myself that he doesn't have the bone disease. Like, it was just like a freak accident, like just something happened and he was just unlucky and it broke, but that's not the case. His pediatrician is going to be contacting the hospital where he had the surgery to put the cast on and correct it and everything, and they're going to be trying to find a genetic specialist that would be best for him at his age and his situation to go to and kind of find out where we go from here. I don't know much about osteogenesis imperfecta. I just know bits and pieces from what I've heard and some of what I've read. I know it's genetic, like you can't catch it. It's not like the flu or something. It's just if someone in your family, like your parent, has it, there's a chance that you could get it. It affects your bones to the point of they're just not as strong as the average person's bones. So there's different stages and different types. Like there's, I don't know if you've seen the movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. The character that Samuel L. Jackson plays actually has osteogenesis imperfecta, and he is at the total extreme end of the spectrum where you can literally just hit something and your bones shattered. Obviously, without having prior breaks, he doesn't have it that severe. So we don't know exactly where he's at on the diagnosis, but we're pretty sure it's at the best stages he could have in this situation, where his bones are still more easily breakable compared to mine, but they're not as bad as they could be with the disease. We know that now this means that he's limited. He won't be able to play like full contact sports. He won't be able to skateboard, jump off cliffs. I mean, like, anything that I could get injured from, he's even more able to get injured from. So it's just, it's hard to process that. It's because now, like, I feel like I was already kind of a helicopter mom. Like, I would let them, you know, kind of do their own thing, but at the same time, like, if they climbed too high, I would go and grab them. Or if they got too far away from me, I would either make sure they came back or I'd follow them. And so, like, now knowing that my child can break bones very easily, like makes me even hyper aware of all the dangers that can happen. Like he could literally just be skipping down the sidewalk and fall, and he could like break his arms. I mostly think about like when he goes to school. Like, is he gonna get picked on? Is he gonna think he's different because he can't do certain things? Do I need to tell the teachers he has to have limitations? Like, do I have to tell the school like he can't do certain things during PE, or he can't do certain things during recess because he could break a bone? It's hard to think about the conversations that I'm going to have with him. Like if he wants to truly do something like football. Like when he's younger, like he's not going to understand why I'm telling him no, he can't do these things. It's hard for me to understand because I feel like I haven't been the smartest kid. Like I made some pretty dumb decisions when I was younger. I rode a bike down a really steep hill and went over the handlebars and just completely tumbled down a gravel hill, and I survived. I mean, I had some cuts and scrapes and stuff, but I survived. And there's times where like I climbed a tree and fell out. There's all sorts of situations I can think of where things could have gone wrong, and I think of like my son being in those situations, and like things are more likely to go wrong. Like those are simple childhood things of just feeling like you're invincible and going and doing something. And I feel like I have to like deprive him of that sense of invincibility because he's not invincible. I feel sorry for him. I want him to be able to have a normal childhood, and I know that it could be worse. I mean, I know that there's worse situations, but I feel like now he's different. And how do you tell your kid that they're different without them feeling different? Like, I don't want him to feel different. I don't want him to feel like he's abnormal or something, you know? Like, I don't want him to feel like he's not like the rest of us. But I also want him to know he has limitations. I don't want him to try to do the things that any average kid his age can do and end up breaking his neck. I don't know. I'm still trying to process this. I'm still in the early stages of figuring this out. I feel like I'll feel more comfortable with the diagnosis once I talk to the genetic specialist and they really go into more detail on exactly where he's at in his diagnosis, like on the different stages that he could be, and once they talk to me about exactly what his limitations are, what they might recommend on doing from here on out. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know very much about it. So if you know anything about osteogenesis imperfecta, if you have it, if a family member has it, if you just know information about it, I would appreciate some advice, information, anything, support. I know I'm laughing, but that's just like kind of my coping mechanism. I'm not trying to make this about me, but I feel like I'm just kind of lost right now. Like, where do we go from here?